The conversation surrounding the Springboks after their 42-28 victory over Scotland revealed something fascinating about modern rugby. On one side were supporters celebrating another impressive Test victory, while on the other were critics pointing out defensive lapses, missed tackles, and moments where South Africa appeared vulnerable. Somewhere between those two viewpoints lies the real story. Rugby is rarely about perfection, especially at international level, and expecting every performance to resemble a World Cup final is simply unrealistic. Yet for some sections of the online fanbase, anything less than complete domination becomes a reason for outrage. That reaction misses the bigger picture of what Rassie Erasmus and his coaching staff are trying to achieve with this remarkable squad. The result itself should never be ignored. Winning a Test match against Scotland is never a simple task. Over the past several years, the Scottish side has developed into one of the most dangerous attacking teams in world rugby. Their willingness to move the ball quickly, exploit space, and challenge even the strongest defensive systems has earned them victories against several elite nations. They arrived with confidence, belief, and enough talent to trouble any opponent on the international stage. From the opening whistle, they demonstrated exactly why they deserve that respect. Despite trailing early, Scotland refused to panic. Instead, they trusted their attacking structure, shifted the ball with impressive speed, and repeatedly forced the Springboks to defend wider than they would have preferred. Their backs attacked the midfield channels with confidence, exposing moments where South Africa's defensive communication was less than perfect. Every opportunity was attacked with purpose, and by half-time they had erased an early deficit, reminding everyone that no international fixture can ever be taken lightly. For many supporters watching at home, those moments immediately became a source of frustration. Social media quickly filled with criticism aimed at individual players, tactical decisions, and even the coaching staff. Some questioned whether certain selections had weakened the team. Others argued that the defensive system had suddenly become vulnerable. A few even suggested that South Africa were losing the standards that had carried them to consecutive Rugby World Cup triumphs. Those reactions, while emotional, overlooked the broader context behind the performance. What makes this Springbok side unique is not simply their ability to win rugby matches. It is their willingness to evolve while continuing to collect victories. Many international teams rotate players because injuries, fatigue, or scheduling leave them with little choice. South Africa rotate because they have deliberately built extraordinary squad depth. Every Test becomes another opportunity to examine combinations, evaluate players under genuine pressure, and prepare for challenges that may not arrive until years down the road. That philosophy was perfectly illustrated by the return of Embrose Papier. Years had passed since his previous Test start, and many wondered whether he would be able to adjust immediately to the pace and intensity of international rugby. Those doubts disappeared almost instantly. His opening try demonstrated everything the coaches had hoped to see. Spotting the smallest gap around the defensive line, he accelerated with confidence, slicing through defenders before anyone could react. It was not simply an individual moment of brilliance. It reflected the confidence that exists throughout this squad, where players can spend years waiting for opportunities before returning as though they had never been away. Moments like those do not happen by accident. They are the result of an environment created by Rassie Erasmus, where preparation never stops and every player understands exactly what is expected whenever their chance arrives. The competition for places remains relentless, but instead of creating fear, it encourages continuous improvement. Every training session becomes another opportunity to prove readiness. Every player understands that selection depends on performance rather than reputation alone. The same philosophy extends beyond the backline into the forward pack. For years, opponents have associated the Springboks with overwhelming physical dominance. Players like Eben Etzebeth, Franco Mostert, and Lud de Jager have established reputations as some of the finest locks in world rugby. Naturally, whenever those experienced names are unavailable, questions immediately emerge about whether the replacements can maintain the same intimidating standard. Against Scotland, that responsibility belonged to Cobus Wiese and Ruan Nortje. Comparing anyone directly with legendary players is always unfair, and the coaching staff understand that reality better than anyone. Their expectation is not for replacements to become identical copies of established stars. Instead, they expect every individual to contribute their own strengths while remaining committed to the collective system. Throughout the match, both players demonstrated exactly why they continue to earn opportunities at international level. Ruan Nortje worked tirelessly across the field, contributing at line-out time, carrying aggressively into contact, and covering impressive distances during defensive transitions. His athleticism allowed him to support attacks while still recovering quickly enough to meet Scotland's counterattacks. Those qualities cannot simply be measured through statistics. They become visible through the rhythm and balance they provide to the team. Meanwhile, Cobus Wiese brought physicality to every collision. Whether carrying into heavy traffic or disrupting opposition possession, he displayed the aggression expected from a Springbok forward. Although the line-out occasionally lacked the precision supporters have become accustomed to, those moments also served an important purpose. They highlighted areas requiring further development before future international campaigns. Winning while identifying weaknesses represents one of the healthiest positions any elite sporting organization can occupy. Another player who attracted considerable attention was Damian Willemse. Few rugby players possess his versatility, capable of performing across multiple positions with remarkable composure. Yet replacing someone like Damian de Oyende presents unique challenges. De Oyende has built his reputation on relentless defensive pressure, exceptional decision-making, and remarkable physical presence in midfield. Expecting Willemse to replicate every aspect of that role ignores the qualities that make him exceptional in his own right. Throughout the first half, Scotland occasionally found success attacking the midfield channels. Their clever passing patterns and support runners created uncertainty that even the world's strongest defensive systems would struggle to contain consistently. Some supporters immediately focused on those defensive moments as evidence that Willemse was unsuitable in the position. Such conclusions ignored everything else unfolding throughout the contest. As the match progressed, Willemse reminded everyone why he remains one of South Africa's most gifted rugby players. Receiving possession with defenders closing rapidly, he combined sharp footwork, acceleration, and outstanding balance to break through multiple tackles before powering over for a memorable try. It was a moment built on instinct, confidence, and natural ability rather than brute force alone. That score perfectly illustrated the balance the coaching staff seek when selecting players. Defensive solidity remains essential, but creativity and attacking unpredictability are equally valuable in modern international rugby. Perhaps the most encouraging aspect of the performance came from the younger generation beginning to establish themselves within the national setup. Paul de Villiers displayed the confidence coaches hope to see from emerging internationals. Rather than limiting himself to safe decisions, he looked for opportunities to unlock Scotland's defence with imaginative attacking kicks and ambitious passing options. One attempted grubber kick narrowly failed to produce a spectacular assist, but the willingness to attempt such a play reflected growing confidence within the squad. International rugby rewards players who recognise opportunities rather than those who merely avoid mistakes. That philosophy has become central to Rassie Erasmus' long-term vision. Instead of searching endlessly for identical replacements whenever experienced players approach retirement, South Africa continue developing individuals capable of bringing entirely different strengths to familiar roles. Innovation has become just as important as continuity. Every new player adds another layer to an already impressive squad, ensuring the national team continues evolving instead of standing still. Perhaps that is the lesson many critics overlook following performances like this. Perfection has never been the objective. Progress remains the priority. Every test match generates valuable information, revealing combinations that work, areas requiring improvement, and players ready to shoulder greater responsibility in future campaigns. Defeating a dangerous Scotland side while making numerous changes to the starting lineup represents another indication that this remarkable system continues moving in the right direction. The scoreboard confirmed another victory, but the true success extended far beyond the final whistle. It lay in the continued growth of a squad determined not only to defend its status among rugby's elite but to build an even stronger future, one carefully measured performance at a time.